Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's hey, hey.
Hello everybody, my name is Sasha and welcome to my channel. And today I have a guest here.
Hi, my name is Cliff.
And
what do you want to know?
and I'm in America.
And I'm an American.
Today we are going to talk about American system of education. Since now I'm in America and I have this amazing opportunity to torture this guy today and ask questions in which you guys probably interested if you ever thought about to study in America or compared studying in America with the other countries like Russia or Finland. How much, for example, years you need to study at school? Because in Russia we study for example 11 years.
Wow.
And, yes.
In total school? All of school?
Yeah. In Finland it's I believe 12 years or something. Text me in the comments down below if I got it wrong, but I believe that all of my friends studied for 12 years there. But also in Russia we have an opportunity, for example, to go after the 9th grade to the college. So college in Russia, it's not college in America, so it's not a university, lower education. Okay, if you want to be a lawyer, you can go to some college in Russia, but still it will not be high education, so it will be middle special education or something.
Oh,
how does it work here?
Well, before college, there's 12 years of school. Unless you participate in pre-K, which is pre-kindergarten or kindergarten. When you're very young, even before the first grade, you can be put into these programs called kindergarten, which generally are a couple years. And don't ask me how young I was when I was in kindergarten, because I can't remember. But we have first grade through 12th grade before college. And so first through 4th grade is elementary school.
Yeah.
And then 5th grade through 8th grade is middle school. And then 9th grade through 12th grade is high school.
So you have 12 years.
12 years.
Okay.
And that's not counting the preschool that you might do before that.
Yeah, well, we also have some sort of preschool, but it's, I think it doesn't count for us. I don't know, because, there you just practicing your skills of reading, of writing, you start to write something. Yeah, they just kind of prepare you, this 1 year before you go into school.
Sure.
Yeah, that you will not be lost and you will be able to manage their program itself.
I felt lost until I was through with high school.
Yeah.
School is crazy in America. Lots of pressure.
Why?
There's lots of pressure, especially I feel like nowadays when I hear stories of my parents when they were in school, it was a lot different. I mean, there were definitely different punishments when you misbehave in school.
Punishments?
Yes, punishments, slap the ruler on the wrist type of thing. Not these days, but a lot of pressure. Where I went to school, I went to a high school. Well, I did all of my grade 1 through 12 in the same town. And it was a very white community in southern Maine. And when I say pressure...
Okay, check it out.
Thank you, Siri. When I say pressure, I mean both from an academic standpoint and also to fit in socially. Growing in the school I went to, there was a lot of kids were involved in sports. A lot of kids were very athletic, and their parents were very involved as well. And there was a lot of focus on just doing everything. Have your kids doing well in school, getting A's, doing athletics, being involved in clubs.
Is it true, for example, if you participate, let's say you're playing basketball or playing football, soccer, so that it helps you somehow to get into the college, that you can maybe get some additional scholarship, or I don't know, can they automatically accept you to some college, or how it's working?
That depends at what level of sports you play. I mean, if you come out of high school and you're a Division I lacrosse player or football or something, and you're the star of the team, then you might get scooped up really fast by some Some, let's think, like a big football college, Clemson, which is down south, maybe in Georgia or something. I mean, they might take a star athlete right out of high school and offer them a full ride scholarship to go to that school just to play sports.
So they will study for free.
That's very common here in America. And then more in generally speaking, if you did compete or were involved in sports for a long period of time in high school, it's a great thing to put on your application, and schools like to see a well-rounded person. They like to see somebody who not only does well academically, but also in other areas of life, such as athletics. The application process has a section for recreational activities, like sports.
In the end of the high school, you have an exam, right? Does it call SAT?
SAT, yes. The dreaded SAT.
How does it look, what it consists? So what's in this exam?
Yes, the SAT is dreaded by many, many high school students. It's like you take it as a junior in high school, and it covers a broad range of subjects from reading and writing to math and science, biology, and it's kind of just an examination to test all of your knowledge. And unfortunately, the way the system is structured is that there really is, for a lot of colleges that you apply to, they really look for a certain SAT score. And if you're below that score, then that decreases your chances of getting into that college significantly. So if we're looking at like an Ivy League college like Harvard or Brown or Yale, these schools will take cream of the crop, highest SAT score students. So the students that really, it's possible to get 100% on this exam. Uncommon, but oftentimes there will be so much stress on that high school student in their junior year by their parents, their teachers, to study and do very well on this exam. And then if they don't do well, to retake it. An average score for an SAT, maybe 80 to 90%, will get you into a decent college, but it does decrease your chances significantly of getting into like a more prestigious college.
What's like their maximum points which you can get? It's like 100 or?
Well, the scale used to be, when I took it, it was out of 1600, and I believe 1600.
So it's one.
Don't ask me how it's scored. I don't know how it's scored. The scale used to be out of 16. Or sorry, that's not true. When I was in school, it was out of 2400.
So it's 240.
2,400.
2,400. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just very confused, like with you Americans saying like 1,400, like 2,000. I'm always thinking that it's just kind of.
Think of it as just an arbitrary. Someone knows the math. I personally don't. For example, my score was 2,000 out of 2,400.
Well, that's pretty decent. I mean.
Pretty decent,
yeah.
But I mean, I had friends who were getting upwards of like 2,300 to 2,400, and again, that puts a lot of pressure on the student. And your academic advisor will tell you, look, your SAT score isn't high enough to apply to this college. And unfortunately, that's the way it's structured. And now there are exceptions. Say a student really excelled, had the highest GPA, but they're very bad standardized test takers, then they may be able to get into one of these colleges by showcasing some of their other accomplishments.
For example, in Russia, it's a bit different. Like, that's why I asked you, like, what SAT consists, include, because we also have final exams when we graduate from high school, but they all split. So, it's mandatory to pass Russian language, maths. So, and then it depends, kind of what field you, kind of picked to study then. I applied to study, to be an actress and to be a producer.
Wow, she does everything.
Yeah, oh yeah, the light. It was so cool moment. So and that's why I passed only Russian, math, and literature. But for example, some people who are going to study to be a doctor or something, they need to pass these two mandatory, and then chemistry, biology.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some physics. Is it physics? Yeah. So. Yeah, and also we have like before it was like one exam, like math exam, but now they also split it. So if you're like me, totally not like in some like technique profession or something, so you're like about art and everything, then you just passing math and you get like just grade. So from like I don't know, well basically in Russia it's from 2 to 5, because if it's like less than 2 you didn't pass, and if it's 2 you didn't pass, so it's like count if you pass like 3, 4, 5 you got.
So sad.
yeah it is. Yeah, so I passed this, but if for example I got 4 that was enough for me.
Yeah,
So,
that was enough for me. That's great.
Yeah. But like if I would go, for example, to some maybe more harder profession, I don't know, to be like maybe
Astronaut.
yeah, sure. Then I needed to pass like normal math exam, like also as well as this basic one. So and it's well we have this course like 100. So and kind of then it depends how much you got. And in Finland I know that's because well we're on my channel and we have lots of people from Finland. So in Finland I know that they also just passing like couple exams, kind of if I'm not right, also you can text about it like in the comments down below. But they just also get like normal grades. They don't even have points, as I believe. And then they have exams like in their university as well. So it depends then on your profession, kind of what exams you're going to have.
Sure.
Where all of these 3 countries, like Finland, is the less, like they have less pressure, because I don't know, they all just like kind of I don't know, chilling.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't like get in this year, like I don't know, they're just like going to work or something. In Russia, it's a big drama if you didn't pass your like exams and or if you didn't get into the university. So it means that you're very, very like stupid and kind of everybody.
Harsh.
Yeah, everybody got so depressed, like
Yeah.
But in America, I also heard that it's so common to take like so-called gap year, like after school to give yourself like a space to think what you want to do.
Well, we're burnt out. 12 years is a lot of school, as 11 years in Russia, and
It's like prison.
I know a lot of my friends in high school ended up taking gap years before they went to college. And I think a lot of people feel pressure to go straight to college so that they can come out with a good job. Unfortunately, these days, having a bachelor's degree in America means virtually nothing. With some of the more lucrative degrees, I mean, mathematics or finance, I mean, it can be relatively smooth finding a job after graduating, but with more abstract degrees like in the humanities or art, it can be a lot harder and more competitive, and people often actually feel that they need to go on to more advanced degrees for another couple of years of school to get a master's degree, or go on to doctorate school for an MD or a JD or what have you. So
that sort of shows that you guys supposed to be more educated than we are, because in Russia, if you get the bachelor degree, or for example, I have this like that I need to study for 5 years, and it's sort of finished education. So in Russian language, it would call специалитет. I don't know, but does it make sense if I say specialty? Probably not.
sure.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Special. Okay.
specialty, yeah.
Okay. Well, something new for today. But so and after that, kind of not so much people going to study like to do master degree, because it's enough to get like good job, and most of the people in Russia are studying in universities even just to get a diploma, so that they would be able to just work, because you can like actually, for example, be a doctor with your diploma, but if you're like super proficient maybe in some radio stuff, then of course, like if you have like cool skills for that, they will take you. But without diploma, it can be a little bit harder. So that's why some people just like wasting their time like in university.
Yeah.
Even if they don't like the profession, but they already kind of got in, just to then be able to work like somewhere else. But not so much people going to do master degree. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, because also, well, we have some free places actually in universities, so you can study for free, but it's limited. So, like, as concerns myself, plus because I'm also studying in the evenings, you know,
Okay.
we have this option, so I need to pay because we didn't have like free places. But for example, in Finland, all education are for free, and
Wow.
the students even get, you know, like every month some payment because they're studying.
Oh, bring it here to America.
Yeah, well, I think everybody
know-
would just like chill in America and do nothing if they get paid, no?
Education is so ridiculously expensive here in America. I mean, it is just awful. And each year it gets more and more expensive.
You graduated from university, right?
Yep.
It was University of Vermont.
Yes.
So, how much it costs?
One of the most expensive state schools in the U.S. For 1 year of education for an out-of-state student, you're looking at $55,000. And then you add in room and board and food and any extra expenses, and you're looking at upwards of $60,000, $70,000 a year. You know, a lot of families, average families, can't afford to send their kids to school, to college for this reason. And a lot of families have to pull a lot of strings, and students end up in significant amount of debt that they, you know, by the time they get out of school, it's absolutely necessary that they find a good job because they have to pay off this debt that they'll be paying for decades.
But I know that you also can get some scholarships and study for free. For example, in Harvard, they have this system. If your family like raise less than, I believe it was $65,000 per year or something, then you can study there for free.
For free, yeah.
Yeah, in Harvard.
Some schools, yeah.
Well,
If you can
some
get into
schools.
Harvard.
Do you know, can I then, you know, kind of work here with my Russian education or go to the master degree with my Russian education? Like, or I need to, for example, if I want to go to work with my like Russian diploma, I need to
in the Americas.
yeah, I need to like pass some additional exams or like, you know, kind of maybe go to study again here, so because it doesn't count here.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think probably there are different requirements for every country for students coming in, how those credits transfer over and how those degrees transfer over. I'm not exactly sure for a field like psychology what that would be like. I don't know. There's an answer out there somewhere though.
Google it.
Google it.
But yeah, because well, one of my friends just asked me this question today, and I just thought because you're in like somewhere near the medicine, right? Sphere, so maybe you would know.
But I've heard that it's trickier to have for some students who have degrees in other nations to come over here and work with those degrees. Oftentimes they're needing more education or to pass certain exams.
Well, I know that you can for sure probably continue your studying, like to go to do master, because well, I checked Harvard and well, they do accept like, for example, like foreign education, so you can go
They
to
love
master.
foreigners at Harvard.
Yeah.
They love the diversity. A lot of schools these days actually.
Do you have an option to go somewhere abroad as an exchange while you're studying in university? Yes, you
Many
do?
colleges offer study abroad programs, yeah. I think there are extra expenses that you have to pay for it. But I think if you're taking the same amount of credits abroad as you are going to take that semester in the US, I think that the tuition you pay will cover the classes you're taking, but you may have to pay extra to find room and board and food and stuff like that.
Okay, because for example in Russia, well, in some universities they do have possibility to go to study abroad. For example, in my university, well, I did study abroad in Finland, but they did not announce it actually like in public that you can do that.
Oh.
So I found out it like by accident. So, and we had only two options, like either you could go to Finland or to Germany, but to go to Germany you needed to like speak German language.
Interesting.
So yeah, and to Finland you just needed to speak English, which is funny because all the lessons were in Finnish and the teachers just translated, you know, the main like kind of point, you know, to English. So basically, I just like sat for 40 minutes like that, and then like listened for 5 minutes, you know, like
Yeah.
of explanation. So yeah,
That is very interesting because I think here in the U.S. A lot of colleges offer the opportunity to study just about anywhere you want to go.
but it was for free for me, for example.
Oh wow!
Like, but I was also lucky because, like, I don't know, like, on what it depends, but for example, some people who like went abroad from my university as well to Finland, they got per month like 350 euros, which is nothing because you need to rent a flat. For example, in Finland, like if you rent a room, it can cost 200 euros, and then you just have 150 left, and you still need like eat something, like, you know, pay your internet and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was lucky; I got 900 euros grant per month. So-
Wow! Wow! Look at her.
Yeah, and that was more than enough. Like, but from the beginning, because you know, I went to study in Finland when I just turned 18, and I got so much money. So, and,
Yeah.
like in the first month, I really like felt that it wasn't even enough. So I really struggled sometimes. That, for example, I had like still 1 week till the next payment, and I just had like 20 euros in my pocket, and I'm like, oh,
I
let's
see
buy
how you
some
got all these
porridge.
fancy clothes.
Yeah. But yeah, and in Finland, for example, if you want to do an exchange, like you can do it in every university, and I believe that almost like all Finnish students, they do that exchange somewhere. So I think that you don't need to pay anything because like government also paying to you. So, but they receive, I believe, less amount of money. It was around like 500 or 600 euros per month. It also depends like in what country you are going to.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so they can also do that for free, and plus they have free education and like
Yeah.
Finnish people.
Bring it here.
Yeah, well, I like the system. And do you know that it's actually like people saying, not only people, it's like a fact that Finland has the best education in the world, kind of one of the best. No, you didn't hear that fact?
No, I'm an American in a bubble, waiting to burst.
Okay. In Russia, you can choose like your kind of schedule, not schedule, but like shifts in which you want to study. For example, you can study from 9 a.m. to like 6 p.m. or something, or like as I do, you can study from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's easy because you can work in the first part of the day, which I do. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And you're still considered a full-time student?
Yes.
Oh.
And also you can have like possibility to study in a distance. So like it means that you receive all the tasks like online, and just coming, for example, in January and June, like for 1 month to pass, like, you know, for example, like 10 subjects which you had like in this term or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So, and that's all. And it, you know, and you don't need to participate like in any university activities like during whole semester, like,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I've never heard of us having different shifts. Generally, it's just where you're scheduled in when they're offering classes, which is usually during the day. I did have quite a few evening classes, but generally it's just what does your program offer, when are the classes scheduled, and you kind of just get placed wherever, and you have to sort of work the rest of your life in around that.
How many years you need to like pay back the student loan?
Holy crap. Lots of years. I would say an average student for going through undergrad comes out with anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000 worth of student debt. And if you can imagine that after they're done with undergrad, this debt starts accruing interest and becomes even more of a debt. And as a student starting their life and they need to pay for housing and they're living on their own, figuring how to be adults, you know, they have to also start paying off their student loans. And again, it depends on so many factors. It depends on the student, their family's economic health, and whether their family's able to help them out. But I would say oftentimes students end up paying student debt for decades, sometimes even their whole lives, paying off the debt. which it's I know it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Something needs to change.
And we're just complaining that how much we need to pay. Well, compared to you, we pay so less. For example, I believe my 1 year of studying cost around. Well, I know that if I convert to euros, it's 1,000 euros per year.
Holy
But
smokes!
in dollars, it's maybe 1,000 like 200 or something per year.
That makes me sick.
Yeah, it's so less, yeah.
Yeah.
But for example, because I'm studying in the evening, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So for those who study like during the day, and we'll have same degree, so there is no difference. I mean, the difference maybe is also that it's also easier for me to pass exams because teachers like, you know, kind of thinking that, oh, they are working.
Yeah.
So they're like so cool guys, and like, oh, they're studying in the evening, you know, all the teachers already tired in the evening, so
Sure.
kind of, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so, and they maybe need to pay around, let's say, like, well, 3,000 or 4,000 euros per year. So, well, maybe maximum 5,000 euros. So it's like, yeah, around, like, same in dollars or something. But yeah, thank you so much for this precious, like, you know, information, because I believe that probably that was useful and interesting.
I hope somebody found it interesting or helpful or useful.
Yeah, thank you so much for you guys for watching. Please text in the comments down below like your opinion, and maybe like if we were wrong with something, like especially me, like with Finnish educational system.
Especially her. Don't look at me.
Yeah, so give us a big thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel not to skip next videos. Bye!
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Yeah, bye!